It says, our Belize lands. We will respect the communal land rights to ancestral lands. We will not stop until this government has delivered on their promise to respect our communal ancestral land rights.
It has been decades of struggle for the Maya people in securing land rights until a landmark judgment handed over by the Caribbean Court of Justice in 2015.
A consent order that says, this court, meaning the Caribbean Court of Justice, affirms the Court of Appeal of Belize insofar as it holds that Maya customary land tenure exists in the Maya villages in the Toledo District and gives rise to collective and individual property rights within the meaning of the Belize Constitution. That is what you have been struggling for. And that certainly the government agreed, consenting to the order along with your communities, that your land rights are affirmed and are recognized. The order also says that the government will protect your rights, and that will mean at some point that there will be titles, that there will be a law. Perhaps it will be called the Maya Land Act, I don't know, but there will be a law that will be passed by the National Assembly to protect your rights.
Since the handing over of the court judgment, the Maya communities find themselves struggling once more in implementing the court order, as explained by the spokesperson of the Toledo Alcaldes Association, Christina Cook.
The legal struggle was difficult. It was not easy. It required a lot of resources, a lot of mobilization. It required long hours. It required the ability to stay united throughout the entire 30-year struggle. And finally, we arrive at a consent order and judgment, and still we are struggling. The implementation, in my opinion, is perhaps the hardest part of the struggle. The implementation requires political will, and the government consistently has shown its position to basically not provide the political will that it will require to implement this decision and judgment. I think that it's important to underscore that the things that we are still challenged by in the implementation is really the identification of where these lands exist, right? The court made an order for the government to work with the Maya people to clearly define, delimit the territories of the Maya people based on their use of the land and their occupation of the land, their current occupation of the land. We negotiated what we call delimitation principles and methodology. It's a methodology on how we go about mapping our lands and territories. This was a negotiated document between the government of Belize and the Maya people. And it was a document that was accepted in front of the court. Now the government of the day is trying to change that methodology in an effort to clearly limit not just the lands, but the rights of the Maya people. What is detailed in that methodology is that the Maya people themselves, having used the land, having been the users of the land, are the only ones who truly know the extent of their use. How far do they farm? How far do they hunt? How far do they gather? What has been the customary uses of those spaces, those waters, those lands?
If anyone knows the extent of use and occupation of the land, it would be the Maya people who have been living on and caring for the land.
When it comes to land, the community abide by that. If you have a plot of area, maybe 2, 3, 4, it all depends how much acres, and that is yours. And the community members recognize that and respect that. The way how communities know the corner of their land is that in the past there have been, we have community members, and we know where exactly we meet each other, and we respect that. So one community member will not go across that farmland that is for the other community. So with our neighboring community, we respect that and we take that as our boundary with each other.
Integrity and security of land is central to Maya people's existence and well-being. If the Maya people lose freedom to live on and care for their lands and resources, they will lose a sense of community and well-being. Losing the health of land means losing the health of Maya people and their generations to come.
It is important that the community secure their land because our population is growing and the land is not growing. So we need to have that land for our community. And if we don't do that, then our future will end up not having land. Our future generation will end up having no land.
We need to tell the others. I want to tell the younger generation, you have to participate with the land rights because you are the future later. Don't just stand up and watch the older people fighting for your land. You have to get involved. It is time now. Make we don't depend on no government. Make we depend on our land so that we, the Mayan people, we have the right to say that we are the Mayans, we are Haral Church.
The road to securing land tenure is not an easy one. It will require a collective effort, as our grandparents would say, se comunil. Together, we will move forward. In the meantime, the Maya people continue to shape their community through ongoing relationships, negotiations with their neighbors, and dream of a dignified future for all.